So Nigel Farage has been invited by Laura Kuenssberg to appear on her show, and he seems to have run scared. He says he's not going to do anything on the BBC until it apologises for the dishonest question time audience. So I presume now he's not going to do it at all. The Laura Kuenssberg invitation presumably was for this morning. He says, our state broadcaster has behaved like a political actor throughout this election. Reform will be abolished, will be campaigning vigorously to abolish the licence fee, because, of course, he's personally slighted. And he's talking about the dishonest question time audience. Dishonesty. From Mr. Farage, the master of dishonesty. Mr. Farage, who says that he's always made sure that nobody in UKIP belonged to BNP, National Front or the EDL, and yet is represented by a campaign agent in South Thanet, Martin Heal, who was formerly a member of the National Front. It's laughable, really, isn't it? Somebody who changes his story when he's talking about this fellow who he accuses of being an actor, who says that he met him a long time ago, and then says he met him on the day that the filming took place. Which story is correct? You know, don't you smell a rat? Don't you smell dishonesty? I certainly do. And it's not the dishonesty from the BBC audience. It's the dishonesty of somebody who's been baking Mr. Kipling's tarts. And these are just two instances of the dishonesty. Farage acts when he's forced to act, and he gets rid of a few people to show that he is determined and bold. Well, he's only determined and bold because somebody else has blown the whistle. He has the determination of a wet rag, and his only focus is on his own advancement, and that, I think, is not the approach that we should be using for somebody who's going to enter Parliament and who's going to be the representative of an entire constituency. Farage can't even represent himself. Farage can't even represent the party that he's been the honorary president of. He says, I was only the honorary president. I didn't really know what was going on. I've taken on leadership now, and I'm not really prepared to respect the decisions which have been taken. The vetting, we paid for the vetting, we paid for the vetting, and it wasn't done properly. Someone else's fault. You know, you've got a problem, and Clacton is, and your MP is Nigel Farage. Someone else's fault. Go somewhere else. I don't care. It's nothing to do with me. You know, arsenic and old lace. It's all Cary Grant. It's all nonsense. It's all a performance. The actor isn't Mr. Parker. The actor is Nigel Farage. I'm playing a role. That's why I've got a silly voice. No. This isn't real politics. This is a performance. Mr. Farage should go back to the music hall where maybe he could be entertaining, do a bit of juggling, or sing a song, something from Max Miller or Underneath the Arches. I don't really care. I would be entertained by that. The cheeky chappy back up again. You know, it's Mary from the Dairy. And it's all full of louche nods and winks, vowels accepted, and that is Nigel Farage. Louche nods and winks, and I wouldn't want a winking MP if I were in Clacton. I'm not in Clacton. I'm greatly relieved.